All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a CRV. We're going to be doing rear pads and rotors per customer request. I started the video a little too late. However, I will go through it with you on your steps, and we'll do the other side together. But basically, it's very, very straightforward and simple. Rotors, pads, okay? What you're gonna do first is take the lug nuts off the wheel, obviously, 19mm socket. Once you've gotten that taken off, you wanna take off the caliper. The caliper's bolts is a 12mm bolt, okay? Those are gonna be right on the back here, which actually screw into right here. The caliper bracket itself is a 17mm socket. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And then you're gonna have, Honda includes these locking rotor bolts. Do yourself a favor, never put a Phillips screwdriver on it and try to twist it off. Take a screwdriver, it's got like a metal blunt head on the back of it, stick it in, and then hit it with a hammer. Okay, just a good whack whack is all you really need, and then it will break it free. And then you can spin it off freely. If you don't do that and you try to use a Phillips screwdriver without doing that, you're just gonna round it and make an absolute nightmare for yourself. When you change out the rotor, this is the brake shoe adjustment plug that you can take off and on to getting access to the adjustment. And you basically, to do an adjustment, you would spin this all the way up here. Once it's up here, this is where your spindle is, where you can make your adjustment, and you basically flathead screwdriver and do it. You don't need to do it on this one. It's basically whenever you have loss of tension on your e-brake, parking brake. Okay, once you've done that, you take a C-clamp or whatever method you use to recoil the piston on the caliper. I use a C-clamp on this one here, and basically put the original pad in there, and you would compress it back in. And then once you've done that, you can pop it out, okay, just like so, okay? And then it has a nice cool clip in there that kind of holds it in place. That is how you do that one. You will then exchange the pads, put silicone on the back of it, like brake lube silicone, and then you put it back together and then put the wheel on and then do the other side. I'll go through the other side with you, as this side I forgot to. So that is basically how you kind of put that back together. All right, so wheels off, 19mm. This is what I was talking about here. So it's gonna have a lot of corrosion and buildup here, so this one might not be very fun to do. But you take a flat head to it with a hammer and smack it once. Okay, when you've done that, then you can move on to your caliper bolt, then your caliper bolt, then caliper bracket. Okay. All right. So once you have gotten your caliper off with your 12mm bolts, you're gonna have to kind of shimmy it and shake it to bring it up. Get it out of your way. I put it back there. Then you want to get a 17mm, you want to break your caliper bolts free, okay? Okay, one, and then the second one there. Then you take your caliper off, then you take your rotor off, okay? All right, you peel off your old rotor right here. If your e-brakes need to be adjusted, do it then, but these ones don't. Like I've mentioned before, everything is tight and whatnot. You want to put your bolt back in here and back there. Don't forget to put your rubber stopper in right there. And once you've got that on and secured, then you can put your caliper bracket on, and then you can compress your piston back into your caliper, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So first thing you want to do now, caliper bracket, put it back on. Don't forget to pull these off. They're just a rubber boot, they just lift right off there. Sorry, they pull down, and then you can gain access to it and then grease up your slider pins here, okay? And then you would mount it onto there like that with the bolts and the brackets right there, okay? All right, so now we're on the step where we are going to bleed the caliper. Sorry, not bleed the caliper. We are going to compress the piston back in the caliper. I use a C-clamp channel like this, feed it in like this way. I have to unwind it a bit more. The old brake pad is in there. Use that one to your aid. And basically you just twist it in like so. Okay, and keep going all the way. There are some different methods that people use. They'll open up the bleeder screw, which is located right here, and let all the fluid come out. I'm gonna be flushing this customer's brakes anyways, so I don't need to do that. But people say like, oh, it puts too much pressure on there. Honestly, I've been doing it for a long time. It doesn't really matter. Proper way, there really isn't one. There's just multiple different ways that you can do it. And then you would recoil your C-clamp back out. Okay. And then pull off your old pad. Okay. Okay, that's your old pad. Okay, and then we're going to be putting the new pad in. Okay, this is the new pad. Okay, vacuum plate slides in. Nice and easy, okay? And then you just push her in, okay? I gotta fight with it a little bit, but I don't need to keep you on camera for that, okay? Just make sure it's all in there. Pops it in, just like that. Then your other pad is gonna go right in the front on top, but I always lubricate the pad to stop any potential squeaking or anything like that. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That is how you change brakes on a Honda CRV. If you have any other videos you want to have done, please let me know. Happy to do any kind of how-to videos or step-by-step guides for you. Thanks for watching.